I cannot take this silent treatment anymore. I feel like I'm being cut open. Every day I wait in your room, but you never come. I want you. I need you like I need air. And this, what you're doing, is suffocating me. I ended with tears leaking from my eyes and breathing heavily. He stared at me for a bit and then he spoke. I felt the same, even worse. You think you need me, like air, but you are the rhythm that beats in my heart. He took my hand and placed it on his heart. Feel it. It was there, but I lost it when I couldn't find you, looking for you on the roads, trying to track you, constantly thinking that you would be hurt or worse, that you would leave me. Well, technically you did. A sob left my lips, but I was still looking for you. And I decided that when I find you, I would spank you so hard that you wouldn't be able to sit for weeks. But then I saw you in that cottage, and then, turning it into flames, the tear that fell from his eyes broke me. I cupped his cheeks. I felt so powerless, so useless. King? No, a beggar. I would have begged on my knees for you. The tightness in my chest when I saw my soul getting burned. I would have jumped in if they hadn't stopped me. I never lost, but you defeated me just like that. You ruined me just like that. He ended in a hard voice and backed away, turning around and holding the edge of his desk. I stood there trying to hold my sobs. I willed my legs to move. I just simply wrapped my arms around his shoulder and we stayed like that. I know I messed up big, but I will earn your forgiveness because there is no other way for me. My only path is you, and I will hold on to you. This time, I promise I will never do something so reckless without discussing it with you. My voice was surprisingly not breaking. I moved in between his arms and wiped his tears away. I hurt my king, and I will make up for it today, tomorrow, or my whole life. I placed a kiss on his soft lips. I will never leave you, my love. Even after that, I would stay on your shoulder becoming a ghost. I placed another kiss on his eyes, then another. No tears find their way in these chocolate eyes. No sorrow find this beautiful heart. No harm come in my king's spot. All the tones turn into petals from my beautiful devil. His life filled with love and joy and happiness. My voice breaks as we both share our pain that reflects in our eyes. Of course, with me by your side, I half sobbed and half laughed. Our eyes wouldn't leave each other. He caressed my jaw and I couldn't hold back. I hugged him and sobbed in his chest. I came to seduce him into forgiveness, but I didn't know he was that hurt. That day, one thing was clear. This man would move mountains for me. I felt so overwhelmed, but he's slowly coming around. It has been 3 days exactly. 3 days since he let go of some of the emotional baggage. At least he comes to bed. Though that's another story that he comes late, but I know when he comes to bed. To me, how he wraps his arm around my waist and pulls me to him gently. The soft kiss he delivers on the side of my forehead, thinking I'm fast asleep. I'm trying to earn his forgiveness. I wake up early for him. I help him to get ready. We don't share a word, but we communicate a lot. He still ignores me, but I torture him every way possible. The other day, I spilled juice on his suit deliberately and took him to change. I removed his shirt and licked the juice off of his abs. That was exciting. He was barely holding back. I gave him massages by forcing him to lay his head on my lap. He gets all grumpy, but after a lot of requests, he obliges. I feed him when he's busy, though he's bonding with Dante. He watches him practice, and they both come back, laughing at playing. He teaches him all the boy stuff. He plays with the Bam, his dog's name. He keeps him engaged. My dad went home to Russia, but he invited me over. I will visit once my king is good. He has my ring. And when I asked about it, he just simply ignored me. Huh? I huffed at him and stomped my feet to my room. Today he will have to pay back. So I put on this skimpy swimwear, and now I'm going to go swim with my Dante. But the twist is all of his gods would witness the view of my ass and body. I'm nervous, to be honest, but Dante excited. At least one of us will enjoy it. Jungkook, my life has become hard. Just like the Jeon the second. He is always hard due to that little minx in my territory, though I would rather have her in my territory than anywhere else, but she's a fox. She has been playing her tricks on me. Our meltdown that day, one thing was confirmed. She can do anything for her family. She went outside the box. She bruised my heart. As long as I remember, I never felt that way. I think there are always was for everyone. That little minx is provoking me. She's pushing my buttons. She is begging to be spanked, and like my a stunt the other day when she went down on her knees and licked my abs. Then after that, she sat in my lap, hugging me like a koala. How cute, right? No cute. She gave me multiple hickeys. She is trying to break my restraint, but I'm just too mad to. Then she deliberately sways that around me, then feeding me with her hands, fixing my shirts, ties, helping me with the belt. God forbid what I would do to her once I'm done being mad at her, but she is breaking my restraints. My door flew open and Adrian marched inside, an amusing tilt on his lips. I waited for him to open his mouth. You need to see what's going on behind your back, he spoke, and I frowned. He tipped his chin over the huge window and I turned my chair. God damn. She's so done now. Grinding my jaw, I stood up and marched to the door. I will keep Dante company, Adrian spoke in a teasing tone. She will regret this. When I reached, she was out of the pool in a two-piece that barely left anything to imagine. She was getting the martini. In a split second, I picked her on my shoulder like a rag doll. She shrieked, and my guards looked over but soon turned their heads when they saw me glaring. Jungkook, she whined, but that's it. I was marching down to my office. Put me down, she yelled at me and earned a harsh slap on her ass. She yelped, but then hit me on my back with her fist. Put me down, you caveman, she shouted, and earned even harder slap. The sound that she contained by biting her lip made me even angrier. The droplets from her hair falling on my back, pushing me to punish her even more. I dropped her on her feet and turned her around, bent over my desk. What were you thinking? Were those strings? I asked, barely holding back. They are my swim, her sentence ended in a whimper. Don't provoke me, Wine, I growled at her. I just wanted to swim on a hot day. What is so wrong with them? She spoke in a meek voice, but her voice breaking when I kept caressing her burning flesh and gripping it. Rile me up, woman, and see what I do to this ass. I spoke in a calm voice. Her body shivers at my threat. Now count with me. I'm going to give you 10 of these, and if you fail to count, I will start all over again. I told her, barely containing my rage. She didn't answer. Right. Use your mouth when I ask you something, I told her while gripping her wet strands in my fist. Oh, okay, she stuttered. Good girl. 2 words, and she melted into me. I almost dropped the punishment. Almost. Thwack. 1. Her voice even, but it won't be so when I'm done with her. I landed 3 at once. Hers was bright color of red by now and burning against my palm. 2, 3. She whimpers. 4. I landed 4 more blows and she was a mess, a complete sobbing mess. But then she made the mistake. Jungkook, please. She groaned against my palm. I chuckled darkly. Wrong syllable, woman. Now count from 1. I spoke. Please, baby. She pleaded. Again, wrong syllable. I landed 4 more blows together, and her legs started shaking. Her legs buckled when I landed another, and I had to hold her by her waist to keep her straight. I brought her back, flushed to me. Her head landed on my shoulder and to my pants. She hissed out and inhaled a shaky breath. She looked at me with her teary eyes. Please me, she begged. As soon as my hand slipped to her lips, she closed her eyes and she was drenched, tripping off my fingers. You are a dirty girl. You enjoyed that, huh? I asked, my voice hoarse. I slipped 2 digits and with such ease that made me groan. I gave her a few bumps and that was it. I fumbled with and in 5 seconds I was filling her up to the hip. She whimpered, circling her arm around my neck. I gave her what she desired. Me. Unhinged monster. The monster that I don't want anywhere around her. And then her one syllable changed everything. Yes, she was enjoying toying and then was punished by a monster. This woman will be the death of me. I let her fall in the bliss and soon I followed her. She is spent, laying on her front, half awake and half asleep, while I nurse her bright red. One thing for sure, she is not going to sit straight for a few days. Does it hurt? I asked, because now I feel guilty. A little, she replied in her sleepy tone. When I was done, I lay beside her and pulled her to me and settled her on my arm. I missed you, she chastised, while looking at me. I missed you too, I replied back, while tracing her nose with my index. She gave me a kiss, and then she was out. The sun is setting. The drapes around the windows are getting darker. It was afternoon when I caught her, and I didn't let her spare a second. After beside the table, I made her write me, and then she came 5 times, and I stopped counting after 5. I didn't want to forgive her, but she is one stubborn woman. She gets it. This way or that way. Well, staying away was not fun for me either. Jeon the second cursed me to death, especially due to her insane activities. Now I have her in my arms and I feel satiated. A full man now that my woman is in my arms, and Jeon the second is also happy and, as usual, hot. I kissed her hair. Sleep tight, alien, because Jeon the second will haunt you once you regain your energy. After 8 years. My house is buzzing like a beehive, while two kids of the same age. Makes sense. One runs behind Leo, my son, who's planning to play in the mud. Then there's Luca, who's missing for a while. I make my way to the pantry, and sure, there he was. And my horror when I saw him, head to toe covered in flour. If Wine saw this, he would eat me alive. She gave him to me because he was running a bath for Leo, and guess who is going to be me? I quickly took him and ran him a bath. Maids cleaned the mess, and when I came down, my princess was back. Hey, Jane, I exclaimed, and she came running to me. I picked her in my arms with a 2-year-old Luca in my other arm. She kissed Luca, and he smiled at her, going for her, well after Dante. He's her best friend, according to her, but it's basically Leo she plays the most with, and also fight with. How was your school? I asked her, and she went on and on about her day at school, how a boy named Steve bothered her and took her pencil, and then she pushed him. That's my girl, I encouraged her, but that earned me a glare from her mommy. No, baby, that's not nice. Next time ask Miss Penelope, okay? She made a pout, but then nodded. Didi! She exclaimed and jumped off my lap along with Luca and Leah from her mother's lap. They all ran to their big brother. Dante had earned his respect in the ring. At the age of 15, he is the fastest boxer of his age, captain of the football team at his school, and popular for his looks and green eyes. Due to his ruthlessness and command over the team, people called him Didi. So Jane started calling him Didi, then Bro or Dante. He is bigger than the guys of his age. He scooped all three of them in his arms and brought them to where we sat. He sat beside me, and I sat the hickey on his neck. Son, you gotta hide it before your mother sees it, I whispered, and he smirked at me. That arrogant. I ruffled his hair and admired the woman of my life who gave me a home and a family of my own. Jane is 7 and looks at her brother as if he were her hero. She follows him around in the house for her homework because he helps her more than needed. Then these two, Leo and Luca, the monster twins, with my genes evident. When they all fuss over each other and make Bam's life hell, I took her to the hallway, where the painting I made for her was hung, her swollen red lips and her cheeks pink, eyes teary, and she holds a figure in her arms. A small, simple smile tipped at the corner of her mouth as she looked straight through her beautiful stormy eyes. I still can't believe you painted these, she exclaimed while wrapping her arm around my bicep and tilting her head. Thank you for filling up the swing of the devil, I thanked her. All my pleasure, sir, she spoke in that voice, being a brat. You remember when I painted those eyes? I know, you poet. She spoke and hit my chest lightly. I hugged her to my side. I can recreate it if you like, I told her, and she looked at me with mischief in her eyes. Oh, what would you paint? She asked in a sultry tone. I gripped her chin and whispered in her ear. My initials on your in a black ink. It will hurt. Her breath hitched, but the promise of pain melted her in my arms. I shook my head, chuckling. The monster I created, I exclaimed, and she looked at me as her eyes darkened. Your monster, my monster. With that, I joined her lips and kissed her these many years, and she's still my obsession. You guys get a room. Dante spoke, making a face. We both chuckled and continued kissing each other. Sometimes embracing the darkness is the closure we require. To those who embrace their darkness, cheers. That is it. That is the end of this beautiful story. The wing of the double ends here. And we wait next week for a new story. Till then, stay safe and happy. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below. Also, share my videos, my fiction with your friends. And I need your support. Till next time, bye.